Maine is screwed! Maine is screwed! Governors in the mansion talking crazy every day, smiling while the whole damn state's sliding away. Politicians out of sorts, running circles in the dark, passing bills that cut the people just to leave another mark. Medicaid money vanishing, kids get taken in the night, towns locking doors on families, calling it what's right. Berwick burned us out, and still they won't give back the land, while Augusta sits there laughing with blood still on their hands. They lost the plot, they lost the map, they sold the future for a photo op. Out of touch, out of time, out of their minds. The governor's crazy and the whole crew's lost. Politicians out of sorts while the people pay the cost. From Augusta down to every broken town, and we're the ones who are standing up to burn it down. Fraud in the system, millions walking out the door. DHHS looking sideways while the bodies hit the floor. Contractors stealing, councils fighting in the light, while families lose their homes and nobody makes it right. They talk about progress with a straight face and a grin, but the state's on fire and they're still just fanning the wind. Oh, we found a federal case, they're still denying every claim. Same old machine, same old lies, same old dirty game. They lost the plot, they lost the map, they sold the future for a photo op. Out of touch, out of time, out of their minds. The governor's crazy and the whole crew's lost. Politicians out of sorts while the people pay the cost. From Augusta down to every broken town.
The way life should have been. You cross the bridge on 95 and something shifts. The air changes. The world slows down. This is the land that built legends. Where Joshua Chamberlain held the line at Little Round Top and saved a nation. Where Stephen King dreamed up our darkest fears from a Victorian mansion on a quiet street. Where Paul Bunyan still stands tall in Bangor, watching over a city that once roared with industry. Where Belgrade lakes shimmer gold at sunset. Where the Nubble Lighthouse has guided sailors home for over a century. Where Katahdin rises above it all, from first light to last. But something happened to Maine. Funtown is silent now. The lobster boats rot in the harbor. The streets of Portland are lined with tents. And thousands of Maine families have been torn apart. Not by tragedy, but by a system that profits from their pain. The money keeps flowing. The budgets keep growing. And the people of Maine keep asking, what happened to the way life should have been? Maine is crashing. And just like that B-24 that went down over Katahdin, nobody is coming to pull it out of the wreckage. Maine's Child Protective Services has been breaking apart families at a concerning level. And no one is paying attention. Until it's too late. Maine. We are more than too late. We have destroyed our next generation by kidnapping the very children who were meant to carry the Maine heritage forward. The children of lobstermen and loggers, of farmers and fishermen, of teachers and tradespeople. Gone, ripped from the families that built this state.
They thought we just comply, but every lie they told is fuel to the fire tonight. This ain't a protest, this is a reckoning call. Maine is screwed, but the people still stand tall.
Ha! There he is.
What up, Darren? Here we are.
My friend. My good friend. The Angry Citizen.
What's a good word? Honest
Jam
man.
music. Hold on.
Here we are, Maine mattress.
Maine mattress. Here we are.
Still
Well,
figuring out that whole music thing?
well, with what just took place with me, it really screwed me up with a lot of things here.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I hope you get that fixed. Darren's having some little computer issues, folks. So,
all day long I spent on this.
Yep.
All day.
gotta be
You know,
there
Dana,
somewhere.
it's like that last minute thing, you know, when you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this one more thing.
Yeah.
And one more thing leads to just a bunch of bullshit that you didn't need to deal with. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
So now I'm here in
Well,
front
here
of the
we
Maine
are.
mattress sign.
Yeah, I like the Maine mattress concept. Yours is backward, by the way.
Yes. Let me,
Go
at
behind
least I
you,
can fix
backwards.
this.
Can you?
What did they used to call that? Pig Latin? Ain May, Adders
No.
May.
Yeah, that's big Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you used to Pig Latin?
I may have done a little pig Latin in my life.
I was
Yeah.
very slick when I knew Pig Latin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that nobody could figure out what the hell I was talking about.
Well, some people don't. You know, the
I
first time
think
they heard
that-
it, they might not know. what
Yeah, is
what you're
Pig
saying.
Latin the main thing?
It's not unique to Maine, no. It's worldwide, as far as I know. I wonder if people from other countries use Pig Latin in their languages.
Yeah, especially from Latin countries.
Well, I was thinking maybe like people from like France or French Pig Latin.
Yeah, because they'd be like, the Amja, you know, something like it'd be hard. You know?
So
Do you know what?
uh,
Did you? Oh, sorry. I just found something out today that I wanted to share with you.
okay.
Now, wow, don't worry about the brightness. That'll do. That's fine. Whew. I haven't figured. I've moved my studio, guys, so I'm trying to
By the
figure
light.
everything out here. It's not working in my favor right now. Now I look like I'm in an interrogation Maine mattress room, but I'll do it. Do you know the name of the device that Snoopy used to play? You know, it's you know that little thing that you put in your.
Called the Jew's harp.
I never knew it was a Jew's harp. I thought it was a juice harp.
Yeah, I thought so too until I saw it written somewhere at one point, and it's actually a Jew's harp. And no, that's not anti-Semitic, so calm down.
Right.
No one hates Israelis. It's just that's the name of it, Jew's harp.
Yeah. And it does some sort of frequency thing to your brain.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It's another one of those conspiracy things, but yeah, it somehow creates the tone that it creates makes you be anti-Semitic, I guess. To be honest. So, well, do you know about the NOEDs? I think they're called.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so no, don't know what that is.
Well, it's kind of a big deal, brother, and it really is. And I know this is off the topic of what we're going to talk about here, so let's just take a second for this because I think that this is a very important subject. I just ran into this today. All right, now whatever. So I'm going to be very, very shifty at best of my explanation. So I'm going to try to see if, while I'm doing this, to get this little explanation for you. What it is so instead of Moses and us following Moses and all of that, for the Bible and everything, is Noah's version of the story, and it's their story to follow. And it's just a difference of laws. It's a difference of it's just a whole different way. But the Jews have made this the new religion, and as a matter of fact, they're having the first worldwide summit coming up here in just a couple of months. Most people will be like, "Well, what's so bad about this?" Well, they're calling for the death of any persons that speak and accept Jesus Christ as their Savior.
Really?
Yeah, and Donald Trump is the one that, remember how he keeps saying that he doesn't even need to be here anymore? He can go over to Israel and he'll just do blah, blah, blah. It's to be a part of this this religion and run it. And this, I looked this up today, man, and this is not, they have what they call conspiracy theory and tinfoil hat and everything, and this is not that. Let me just get this so I can get this for you here. It actually scared the dickens out of me today, dude, to be honest. When I started looking into this stuff, I said, oh my God, because it is exactly what it says in Revelation. It's exactly of what the 7 Noahide laws is what it's called. Noahide. Do not worship idols. Do not blaspheme God. Do not murder. Do not commit sexual immorality. Do not steal. Do not eat flesh taken from a living animal, and establish courts of justice. It's let me see. There's this one here that I'm just going to pull up. It's like a 2-minute thing, dude. And then you can go on with what we were talking about. I apologize for this, but I really wanted to. This is very important, dude. Here you go, dude.
Thanks to all the Zionists in the United States of Babylon the Great. And coincidentally, we're now having this year the first International Congress of Noahides, in which the focus of this meeting is to scatter global Noahide communities into a formally structured, unified international movement, meaning worldwide. Now, I just want to remind you, the United States military is the only military in the world to have a military base established in every single continent of the world. Meaning this, if Israeli and the United States now join together, now Israel has a hand in every single nation and continent of the world via the greatest military in the world, the United States, Babylon made great again. And just to ramp things up, right now in Spain, you have the big border crisis, which is only going to escalate things with the leader over in Babylon the Great and his immigration policies and his military policies. So now everything is being set in place for this man, the champion of the Noahide law, to join forces with the Israeli military and have a military force globally, while at the exact same moment in time, we have the first ever international Noahide meeting conference taking place over in Israel, November 2nd of this year. Also the same year that Donald John Trump proclaimed that he was chosen to start the War of Armageddon, and all the other crazy things we've been covering here on this page in the past 3.5 years. So, if you're having a hard time understanding the importance of this video, maybe watch it again. If you understand this, share it out and warn someone else of this very important stuff that you need to grasp a hold of today. Hello, everyone. I want to talk about something very important.
There you go. Hopefully that's enough to intrigue some of you to go and look, because it's an important message. So anyway, go ahead, Dana.
Well, onward and upward. So I don't know if you've been keeping track of the governor's race here or not, but I've been doing a lot of research, checking into all the different aspects of it. I think it's a little discouraging, honestly. Like, I would like to see someone really emerge that can totally fix our state, but I'm a little discouraged about it, honestly. I don't know if I see it.
What is the issues? What is the number one main issue for the governors to face this year?
It depends who you ask. That's the thing. And you know, they're talking about. There's a guy here. I don't know if you've heard of him, Bobby Charles. He's the kind of Republican conservative choice to at least some extent. And I was looking online today, just reading some of his posts and whatever. And there was a post on there that said that he had wanted ICE agents to be stationed at the polls during the elections and check people's ID. And it's funny, you know, people get very polarized, totally take a side on issues, and they kind of lose track of the important issue, which is that, like I'm all about voter ID and voter security, but if any agent comes to me and tells me they need to see my ID, I'm going to tell them to pound sand. You know, I'm a constitutional American. I don't owe you any damn explanations. I don't owe you uh, an ID. And in fact, no one can ask you for an ID unless there's a specific reason. Like if you go to buy cigarettes, someone's going to ask you for an ID or alcohol. And if you're driving in your car and you get pulled over and it's a legitimate stop, then the police can ask you for, you know, your driver's license. But uh, you know, if you're just like stopped on the street corner, and cops will do this, they'll be like, you know, you got any ID on you? Show me some ID. You don't have to. There's no law that requires you to show an officer an identification, and there is no law that requires you to show one if you go to the polls. So,
Are you saying that we don't have to produce our ID to the police in the state of Maine?
Correct. Yeah. They'll tell you you do, and they'll threaten you and try to coerce you and tell you they're going to arrest you or detain you or whatever. But no, they don't. I can look this up if you want. There's a specific Supreme Court case where
for sure
they ruled this, and you know, I've always known it because it's just, I mean, the whole system is so wildly corrupt, and people tend to be very sheepish. They tend to do what they're told for the most part. People are told do this, do that. You have to do this, you have to do that. They'll do it. They'll mostly do whatever they're told. Very few people are cantankerous like you, me, and Tiffany. You know,
right? Taking on taking on seismic things. So it looks like the Robert Charles was the leading man for the red, and then the what's this guy's name? Nirav Shah.
Yeah, Nirav Shah was the head of the Maine CDC during the scamdemic. He's a scumbag. He is a scum-sucking piece of shit. So, I hate this guy so much.
So we don't endorse him here at Maine Matters.
I sure as hell
he's not an endorsable guy. Then we got Hannah Pingree came in a close second to Nirav. Well, not even close. Like, why don't they just give this guy the ticket? You know.
Pretty much.
I mean, is Maine going to really do this? Is Maine really going to do?
Well, the problem is we have a lot of voter fraud in Maine. There's a whole bunch of voter ID or voter fraud in Maine. They do a lot of mail-in ballots. They love mail-in ballots because the mail-in ballots are an easy way to cheat. I mean, super, super easy way to cheat. And for those of you who think that there is no fraud or no election fraud or very little, you're dead wrong. It's abundant. All you gotta do is look into it a little bit. You're not going to see it on your TV. Turn on the TV, look at the mainstream media. They'll tell you there's no fraud or very little fraud. Right. Everything's secure. Hannah Pingree is telling us all this, how safe and secure the elections are. And, you know, how do they explain 250 ballots sent by Amazon to someone in Maine for no reason even, you know, and they still haven't explained how that happened. You know.
So wait a minute, is Graham Plattner still in this race?
No, they yanked him out once they found out he was a neo-Nazi wife beater.
Okay, because well, let me share this with you. This, what I'm looking at here, man, looks like he's still.
Is he still in it?
I don't know. Maybe he's not in it, but maybe
he was running for senator. He was running for senator, not governor.
Yeah, look at right here. Yeah. See, Graham Plattner wins the Maine primary, and then it puts him here as the D-Senate RCV with Graham Plattner, David Costello. Oh, okay. Why do they have him? He's running as governor now, or what's going on here?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, the same thing that's on the screen here. Because see, they had him with because Janet Mills is running for Senate, right? Correct.
Is she?
Yeah, she stepped down from being governor. She's not running for governor. She's running for a Senate spot, I believe.
Yeah, she's not running for governor again because she can't. But
Yeah, because the winner of this goes against Susan Collins. Okay.
the primary race.
But see, it shows here that Graham Plattner with David Costello and Janet Mills shows the 0 votes in Susan Collins is still the incumbent, and they haven't done, so they obviously haven't done the Maine Senate primary results yet. And this is last updated today at 3:54 p.m., dude.
Okay.
It says, after years of winning, blue-leaning Democrat Plattner took control of Democratic primary months ago with Maine Governor Janet Mills opting to suspend her campaign. All right, man. I don't know.
God help us.
He's not going to.
I think it's safe to say that Susan Collins is probably going to be reelected, unfortunately. Unless you're into that lesser of two evils paradigm, in which case, yay,
My brother, let me tell you something. If Janet Mills somehow, some way pulls these strings to get Susan Collins, which I don't go red or blue, you know what I mean? I think this woman is straight up a jackass a lot of times. I don't necessarily care for her, but like you said, that paradigm. But if Janet Mills could pull off a win over that, oh my God, I would leave the state of Maine, which I'm sure a lot of people would welcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, but that's the problem. A lot of people have left states all over the United States. That they've left their home state to move somewhere else. But you know what? Sooner or later, we're going to run out of places to go. You got to take a stand somewhere. So I'm dying right here. I'm living and dying in Maine. It's my home. I'm not leaving.
I don't know where I want to be buried, but it's not on this soil.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand.
No, sir. Well, Dana, you were working on a video today.
I've been working on videos all day, but yeah, I was. You remember when we were talking about my friend Clyde Cleveland?
I do.
He wrote the Common Sense Revisited. We played a little bit of that. So, and the Common Sense Revisited, he wrote as a book, and eventually he did a CD version, so you can actually like listen to it. And I had one of those sent to me a while back, and I listened to it, and it's really good. It's
That's a compact disc?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, audio CD. And he asked me to put it up on my YouTube channel, which I said I would, but I can't just put an audio file up there. It has to be, like a video file. I don't want to put a blank video file, so I told him I'm going to make a video out of it. And I asked him to make an introduction for me. So that's what we were working on earlier, was trying to make an introduction.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
To the Common Sense Revisited. Yeah.
That's so nifty. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know which video we played yesterday. There was there were two. There was a one that is Clyde talking about Common Sense Revisited in like an interview, and there's another one of him speaking at this convention, and introducing himself and talking about the video, the Common Sense Revisited.
Yeah, he was like in a tavern or something type setting.
Yeah. Let me see if I can call it up. Actually, hang on. Let's see if I can bring it up on.
That was crazy. How the whole day even fell came
Yeah,
about.
because Common Sense Revisited, a lot of people don't know, but Common Sense Revisited is a book by a man named Thomas Paine, who kind of turned the tide of sentiment to a great extent during the Revolution. And because a lot of people during the Revolution wanted to go back to England and become part of England again and give up. There were a pretty substantial number of people in the colonies that wanted to do that. That's when Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, and it was very widely read, and it kind of turned the tide to a great extent. People were um, swayed by it, and it was very powerful. So, and it should be standard reading uh, in our school system. Fortunately, it is not. As a lot of times, a lot of things that we should have in our school systems are not. So,
Oh, there's Becca. She popped in apparently.
Becca's here.
I thought you were starting at 7.
We were at 7.
It's 7:30.
We've
What?
already been on for, if you look
Well,
at the time,
we've been on.
for 27 minutes.
I didn't even see if we were live. That's great.
That's our moderator for us, guys. Thank you, Becca. Good of you
You're
to show
welcome.
up.
Just making sure everybody was all, together.
Yeah, good work, Becca. Stay solid.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Well, hey, at least she's better late than never. All right, go on. Thomas Paine.
Yeah, let me see if I find this video. Yeah, so Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense Revisited. So this is kind of a resurgence of that to a great extent. It's just Common Sense Revisited for the modern times. And it talks about an important concept, which is bottom-up government. And a lot of times people think that the powers that be, the figures of authority, senators, congressmen, mayor, the presidents, had power over us that they don't have. And they've cultivated that very strongly by basically reinforcing it with their words and their deeds. Like, yeah, we're in charge and you have to do what we say, and we're going to order you around and you better do what you're told. And they work for us, which I've said many times. Like, we don't work for them. We're not their slaves or vassals. They work for us, and they're supposed to do what we say. And the power paradigm has to be switched back.
Yeah, this sure does. And I love how he says that too. I love how he addresses it in this. This lighting is not. It just. If every American would just realize that their power, like he says, go in. We need to go back in. We need to take back our town halls. We need to take back our local governments, from the doggy walkers to the, everything that we have involved. We need to take it in from that level and work our way up, not from the top down. And that's exactly the points that he omits on. That he says, look, I love it. I'm excited to see it.
Again. All right, let me see if. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if last time I think we had a problem with this where you guys couldn't hear my sound.
Yeah, you had to send it to me, remember? But we should be able to fix this issue. We shouldn't make this
yeah, we should do that probably before we go live. But
well, I mean, Becca's here to let us know what time it is, so that's perfect.
And that we're late.
Yes.
Sorry, Becca.
All right. Do we have audio?
Okay, so there it is.
We're going to get this, D.
See if we can hear it. I'm going to start it now. Let me know if you can hear it. You getting sound?
Just you talking to me. I feel like I can hear music, sound. But is that me thinking I hear music? The volume's all the way up?
How's that?
I cannot hear anything still.
Hold on.
See if I can...
No?
Negative, sir. What the?
Yes, no, maybe. Okay, so hang on. I'll send you the link.
Why it's not working? Oh yeah, we did this because you're on Firefox, right? You said.
Yeah, it's probably Firefox.
Oh,
Okay, I sent you the link.
by the way, don't like last night when we were playing that I'm Just a Bill. Did you get the notification, Darren, that they kicked it off? They like cut us off at like 23 minutes of the show
Oh, did they really?
for copyright. Yeah, for copyright
Of course they
from
did.
Disney.
Yeah, I didn't even get a notification about that today.
Yeah, I got it last night, and I'm like, Galicia texted me. She was
Nice.
like, they did the they cut your stream off. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, like 23 minutes, and it was on there. It said that we were trying to copyright I'm Just a Bill.
Well,
Nice.
it's on YouTube, so I'll just have to argue it, when. So I mean, it's
Right.
YouTube's property.
Well,
We're
that was on
using it.
Facebook too. That was where it flagged me
Oh,
because it
Nice.
broadcast on my Facebook too, and that's where it flagged me at.
no, well, hell with them all. It's just a bill. But here he is. Here we go there, Dana. We got Clyde J. Cleveland coming at you. Do you have sound, Dana?
You don't have it up yet. I hear you. Clyde's not on the screen.
Clapping?
There you go. Yep.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you especially for putting this event together. This is incredibly inspiring to be here. I'm grateful for everyone who put this together and honored to be here. A little bit about my background. I ran for governor in Iowa in 2002 as a libertarian. I've been active in the movement to get rid of the income tax for about 20 years. I wrote a book called Restoring the Heart of America, A Return to Bottom-Up Government in 2001, which Ed Griffin and Ron Paul both wrote testimonials for. Appreciated their support. More recently, I was involved in the Ron Paul campaign. I'd like to report that our county, Jefferson County, Iowa, was one of the only counties, I believe, in the entire country to have a victory for Ron Paul, 37% of the vote. That work, by the way, that result was not the result of a few weeks of organization. We started a constitutional study group in our county 12 years ago. We had Ed Griffin come and speak in our community 10 years ago, and we had 100 people there in a town of 10,000 people to hear Ed Griffin. So it's years and years of work and educating people about the principles of our founders. That's what our group does. More recently, I wrote a book, which you all have in front of you, called Common Sense Revisited. We've heard a lot about Real ID and some of these things. It's a little bit kind of depressing, a little bit on this stuff that we need to hear, but I just want to tell you a story. In January of 1776, the founders were meeting, and Jefferson, Adams, and Franklin wanted to see a Declaration of Independence signed. But they knew at that point in January that the votes weren't there. But they took a poll, and that poll was a pretty grim experience for them because it was about 75% for getting back with England. This is while George Washington was in Boston fighting the British. The vast majority of the delegates wanted to get back with England, make up with England. So they postponed the vote, and they kept working on people. In the meantime, in January of 1776, right about the same time, the first 50,000 copies of Common Sense were released by Thomas Paine. They were sold out in less than 2 days. Another 50,000 were printed up. They were sold out within a couple of days.
Now, Dana.
Within a few months, it had changed, Common Sense had changed the whole country. It actually created a...
Yeah.
I just want everybody to understand what he just said there. So he said within, let's just say within a week's time, 100,000 copies of this book was sold, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking at a point in time that less than 3 million people was the population of our country.
Yep.
So you got to think of what a magnitude this is of this guy to sell this book, Thomas Paine, to write this book, sell it, and then distribute it to Well, I mean, an 8th or 7th in the time period where there wasn't cars and trains and automobiles and all that, to our knowledge anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that was quite a feat and quite an impact on people for just a few days like that.
Yep, and no social media, no computers, no internet.
Imagine being at the printing press. Oh, Jesus. Holy damn it, James. Rolling those things all day. Oh, my God. It must have been brutal. But, all right. Sorry about that.
Paradigm shift in our country. George Washington wrote in March, "By private letters which I have lately received from Virginia, I find common sense is working a powerful change there in the minds of many men." It shifted the consciousness of the colonies. By the way, 500,000 copies were sold in a country of less than 3 million people.
Woo-hoo!
Most historians believe that almost everybody read Common Sense. So I knew this, I read about 6, 7 years ago, and I thought, if somebody's got to write something that'll do what Common Sense did. And then, the whole thing, if not you, who, and all that, I was thinking, I got to do this, but I was busy with my campaign, and I never got around to it. And then one day I turned on the TV, and I saw one of Ron Paul's early Republican debates. And I saw him up there, and I saw him being maligned by the Master of Ceremonies, being maligned by the other candidates, but speaking truth to power. And I thought, at 72 years old, if Ron Paul can do that, I can write Common Sense. So I sat down and I started writing. And I'm very excited about it. We've sold over 35,000 copies now.
Right.
And we're about ready for our next printing. But it's been amazing. Of course, Ron Paul endorsed it, and he put it on his Campaign for Liberty site. Gary Franchi made it his last September issue. And that really kicked things off. But basically what we do, folks, is the same thing Thomas Paine did. Thomas Paine showed people a difference between government sovereignty and individual sovereignty in a common sense way that everyone could understand. And it resonated with the hearts of the people. And what we've done is we talk about indigenous power versus surrogate power. Indigenous power is the power the individual receives from his creator, a special relationship with his creator. Individual sovereignty, indigenous power, same thing. And then surrogate power is the power we give to entities that we create. We create institutions, we create corporations or limited partnerships or LLCs or governments. Those are surrogates. They have no indigenous power. They have no power of their own. The only entity that has indigenous power are you and me and all the other individuals on the planet. We have that indigenous power because of the special relationship with our Creator. And that is what Thomas Paine tapped into. That's what we're hoping to tap into with Common Sense Revisited, and we are. And once people realize that they have the indigenous power, then we can, all this stuff that we're concerned about here can be wiped away because we can get the people to realize what's going on. And I see my time is up. I just want to end with a quote. And this quote, in terms of the Continental Congress, I'm very excited about it the way I fully endorse the efforts that Bob has made and the Continental Congress. I think it's a great opportunity for us to return to the founding principles. But I have this one quote that I have to read to you, because in my mind, this should be, for me, this is going to be the mission statement for the Continental Congress, if I'm going to be involved with it. And I want to read you this quote, because it's so inspiring to me, and I think it encapsulates what we want to do. This is a quote from Thomas Jefferson to the Georgetown Republicans in 1809. This is a year after he finished his second term as president. "The principles on which we engaged, of which the charter of our independence is the record, were sanctioned by the laws of our being, and we but obeyed them in pursuing undeviatingly the course they called for." Thank you very much.
Dana, have you read Common Sense?
I haven't read the book, but I listened to the CD. There it is.
Oh, yes. I was just wondering how different the. Well, I guess it really wouldn't deviate.
Awesome. I mean, it talks about.
Yeah, I'd like to get it.
it talks about the most important concepts that we as Americans can embrace, which is the concept of authority. He was talking about indigenous power versus surrogate power. And I strongly prefer the word authority. There's a difference between power and authority. I have the power to do a lot of things, but I don't have the authority to do them. I have the power to, kill someone if I want to, but I don't have the authority to kill someone.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go rob the corner store, I could do it. I'd grab my weapon, run down there, point it at the clerk, tell him to give me all the cash. But it's not lawful to do that. I'd be breaking the law. I don't have the authority. Our
Thank you
government
for
has a
that.
lot of power, and they don't have a lot of the authority. And that's why I always say the very first thing when you're dealing with people who are in positions of supposedly official capacities, senators, congressmen, especially people in law enforcement and people in the judicial field, you always want to say to them, by what authority do you take this action? By what authority do you make this demand? By what authority do you tell me that I have to go over there, or that I'm going to be searched, or whatever. And unfortunately, we have a lot of problems in this nation with law enforcement overstepping their authority. They do it a lot, and
And in
we've
the
let them get
state.
away with it. That's why they do it. Yeah, absolutely. In every state. I mean, it's bad. I saw a few videos today about this with law enforcement. Just, I don't know if you know this, viewers, but if someone in a uniform comes up to you and puts their hands on you in any way, that is a crime. That's an assault. And a lot of people say, oh, well, don't be such a baby. It's not like you got punched or hit with a baton or taser. It doesn't matter in
That's
the
not the
eyes of the
point,
law.
right?
An assault is an assault. There's a very clear line between lawful behavior and unlawful behavior. And if you don't want to be on the side of unlawful behavior, don't do it. The police don't have the authority to grab you. They do a lot.
Mhm.
I've seen it. They'll push you, they'll grab you, they'll shove you, get over here, do this, do that. Go stand over there. They don't have the authority to order you to do that, but we're all brainwashed into believing they do. So people comply and go along with it. And the truth is, in a lot of cases, and I was just reading today a little bit about some of the Supreme Court decisions regarding conduct of police. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that if a police officer is arresting you and they don't have the authority to arrest you, like you haven't committed a crime and they're arresting you, you have the lawful authority to resist them. Unfortunately, that's going to get you hurt or killed.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
yeah.
That's the reality. They will take out their batons and hit you. They will taser you. They might shoot you and kill you. And police in our country are not taught to shoot to wound. They're taught to shoot to kill. They will fill you with bullets. We see that all the time. You see someone, there was a famous incident where this kid had a phone, and he wasn't even like holding the phone in a manner where perhaps you might think it was a weapon. Like if I have a phone in my hand, typically I'm holding my phone like this is how people hold their phones, right? And there's a big, big difference between this and this. See, now you might, if I'm doing this, you might think I have a weapon. Or if I'm holding the phone like this and I'm doing this with it, you might think. But if I'm holding the phone like this, like it's a phone, okay, and they shot this kid down like 20 times, and he wasn't even holding it like forward. He was holding it like this, and they shot this poor kid like 9, 10, 15 times, I don't know, whatever. And they argued, oh, they're sorry, they thought in the dark and the confusion they thought it was a phone. Police aren't held accountable, and that's why they get away with what they do. And that's why and I'm not bashing law enforcement. I've known many people that have been in law enforcement. Some of my friends have been in law enforcement. One of my martial arts instructors was a deputy at the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office. I have a good friend that was a member of the Sabattis Police Department for a while, and they're good guys. They're most of them are actually good guys, and they're trying to do a good job. I've met some of the cops here in Brewer. I've met cops in the neighboring towns. I've had interactions with Bangor PD, and they've all been good interactions. So I'm not bashing law enforcement. I'm just saying there is a problem there, and they don't have the authority to do a lot of the things that they do, but they're told they do. Their training tells them that they do. The other police officers tell them that they do, and they don't ask questions. They just do what they're told. They believe it. The guy, the officer training you says you can do blah blah blah. You go okay, and now they think they can. So yeah, authority, about authority. We the people have all the authority. We just don't use it. We do not use it.
LJ33 Barkley in the house. How we doing there, boss? Yeah, it seems like that's a lot of what's going on. Immediately when you're pulled over, you're asked to produce your ID. You're asked to get out of the car immediately. You're asked to do all of these things. And it seems like they're getting faster and faster, just like the CPS thing that they're coming now and just taking you from their kids. Immediately now it seems like whenever they're going up to you in the side of your car, they're taking you out of your car immediately. Now it went from like a probable cause to this or that to now immediately they're like, shut your engine off, get out of your car. Man, I can remember my dad would get pulled over when we were kids. He'd have a beer in his lap. The car would be running. His arm would be, in one hand and the other hand holding us back, in the seats, because there weren't even seatbelts. And that's the truth. And it's just crazy how times have changed and the rules of the police have stayed the same, but how they have changed it themselves.
Yes, it's been a
to make
slow
it what it is now.
evolution. I watched a movie the other night on Netflix. I don't remember the name of it. This is a Western. And there's a scene where there are three men on horses. They approach a house, a home. But this house is like out in kind of the middle of nowhere. So this isn't in part like a city or whatever. And they stop at the edge of, there's like a fence around the house. So there's a yard, there's a house, there's a yard, there's a fence there. And these three guys, they ride up and they stop. And the front door of the house opens, and a man, obviously the guy who lives there, walks out of the house. He's got a pistol in his hand. He's not pointing it at them. He's just got it in his hand, right, held down at his side like this. And he says, who are you? What are you doing on my property? That one of the guys says, I'm Sheriff such and such from blah blah blah, and we're looking for this fugitive and blah blah blah. If you walk out of your house with a gun in your hand, the police will kill you immediately. They will shoot you, and they will say, we were in fear for our lives. He had a gun, in fear for our lives. You will hear calls over police radios, or people will make phone calls to the police, and they will say, there's a man with a gun. In America, I'm here to tell you, a man with a gun is not a crime. Having a gun is not a crime.
Right.
And in and of itself does not give anybody the right to interfere with you unless you are pointing it at people. Then we have a problem. But if you're just armed, you're not doing anything wrong. But they will treat you like you are, and they'll come running up to you. What are you doing here? Who are you? What's your name? Do you have some ID on you? We got some calls. We got concerned people. A while back, when I used to pick up my son at school, there was a post office vehicle that used to park in the parking lot. And this guy would park in the parking lot almost every day in a way where he was sitting in the parking lot staring at the school when the children were getting out of school. This was really creepy to me, very creepy, right? And not being a shy, retiring sort of individual, I walked up to the truck at one point, knocked on the window, and the guy rolled the window down, and I said, hey, how you doing? And he said, hey. And I said, I see you here a lot, sitting here in the parking lot there looking at the school. And he goes, yeah, this is where I take my break. I said, oh, so you're taking your break here at exactly the time that the kids get out of school and sitting in your van looking at the kids as they get out of school? You see how that might be, a little creepy? And he was very defiant. It was like, yep, because this is where I take my break. And because there's not many places where I'm allowed to take my break. And I'm like, well, of all the places you could be, and it just happens to be at exactly the time the kids get out of school, like literally exactly at the moment the kids get out of school, here you are looking at them. And I told the school about it, and they said they would have a talk with the post office. And a couple weeks later, I went back, and he was there again. And so I got my camera out, got my trusty phone camera out, and I snapped some pictures of him, and I put up a Facebook post. And I said, I want to believe that this guy's not doing anything wrong. This isn't weird, nefarious, creepy. He's just some post office worker just taking his break. Everything's fine. I said, but the father and grandfather in me kind of wants to haul him out of there and beat the piss out of him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I was immediately attacked on Facebook. very viciously attacked on Facebook. And, I was told I was a psychopath, homicidal stuff. Poor guy's probably afraid for his life because,
I know.
some homicidal psychopath wants to attack him. And then I got
Yeah.
a call from the Brewer Police Department.
That's real.
Facebook pulled my post.
Yeah.
I talked to the cop and I just said, hey, he said, we've gotten some calls about your post. I said, well, I'm a lawful and constitutional American and I don't advocate violence. And if you read the post, you will see I wasn't advocating violence. I didn't say I'm going to beat the piss out of the guy. That's not what I said. See? But nevertheless, there I am answering questions, accounting for, my words, even though I think I had a very reasonable concern. And
Yeah.
it would have been
Very
effortless
much.
for the guy to just go somewhere else. Just keep driving, man. Drive down the street. I said you could park at the police department. The school was very close to the Brewer Police Department, so you could just go down, park in the police department parking lot. I even told the woman online that was bitching at me because she said the poor guy was probably afraid for his life because I'm such an angry psychopath. I said, well, if he's afraid for his safety, why didn't he just go park in the police department parking lot, right? Safe. Yeah, anyway, but the police assume authority they don't have, and that's the thing you all need to learn in America is it's about authority, whether you have authority to do something or not. And a lot of times the police don't have the authority, and the certainly social workers don't have authority, and learn that word and use it. So Darren's died.
Nope, I'm right over here.
Are you dead, Darren? All right, good.
Nope, I'm right
Don't
over
die
here.
on
I'm
camera.
trying to. No, I'm right here. I'm over here. I lost my freaking microphone cable. Just popped out. This is just being a damn.
You're having a day, man.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I'm not dead though.
No,
Do you hear me now? You can hear
I
me,
hear you.
right? All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've got a viewer from Montana. That's impressive.
yeah, a lot goes on in Montana. I'm actually putting my LLC business out there in Montana.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's gonna be exciting. All right, cool. That's there.
Darren's had a long week. Yeah, he's a little worn out.
Yeah, it's me, Lisa. Yeah, I'm always, it happens to me. My son is. Oh, my name is Classic. My son is a cop. He sees all kinds of abuse and authority. He is documenting. That's awesome, Classic, because you know that you raised yourself a great son.
Yeah, that's
Dan,
a hard thing to do.
I don't know if you know about her or not, but she actually, someone called CPS on her, and she raises she fosters children. She found out at a younger age that she wouldn't be able to have some children of her own, so she went on to fostering them, and I believe that she did have a couple of her own, but nonetheless, she raised a young police officer. When they came to take the kids from her, I don't know if it was they came to take the kids from her or if they were issuing the warrant, which one it was. The son had to come and issue the warrant or take the kids from her when the son had to come to the house and do it.
Wow.
Be one of the police officers.
Damn.
He was outraged.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, you never know. Man, oh man.
Yeah, that's tough. And there is unfortunately a culture within police circles of basically not speaking out. If you speak out, if you see another police officer doing something they're not supposed to do, you have to keep your mouth shut. And if you don't, you're called a rat, and they will hate you, and potentially you will be attacked, beaten, at least ostracized from the police, and perhaps even killed. It's pretty sad.
I'll bring this up real quick to Barkley. You can get a hold of us at I'll give you this, the CPSV Hunting Justice at gmail.com if you want to go ahead and book to be on the show. So that's CPSV mainehuntingjustice@gmail.com. I'll put that link up there. And I also got Maine Matters Gmail for us. Dana, do you remember what it is right off the top of your head? I got
No.
Maine Matters, right? Well, hold on a minute.
I'll have to look it up.
Here. I did that one at Proton, correct? I think it's
Gotta look.
Log me in here. And then now, since I'm going to bring this up, if you want to go ahead and send it to us over here at this Proton mail, that's fine too. I'm pretty sure it's going to be sign in, please. I'm pretty sure. Maine Matters, yeah, it's Maine Matters at what is it? Proton dot whatever.
Protonmail.com.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to just go ahead and send it to us at what Dana just said.
Protonmail.com.
Yeah, so Maine Matters at protonmail.com. Maine Matters at protonmail.com. So yeah, do that, and we can check that out.
There you go.
This Proton Mail is good stuff.
Proton Mail is good stuff. For those of you who don't know, Proton Mail is a service that is very secure. You can get a free account. You can get a paid account if you want to, but you can get a free account with limited capabilities, and it is very secure. So you have a relatively good degree of assurance of privacy. If you send an email from your Proton Mail account to another Proton Mail account, it is encrypted, end-to-end encryption, airtight. So you can't get more secure than that. So Proton Mail is the way to go. And I use a lot of Proton services. There's a file storage service. There's a free VPN. If you don't know what a VPN is, it stands for Virtual Private Network. And what it does is it takes your IP address, which is your unique identifier on your computer when you're sending and receiving information on the internet, and it creates a substitute one that will make your communications with the internet more secure. So check it out, Proton Mail. No, they don't pay us.
That was a good one, Dana. I was like, wow, man, that's smooth.
It's good resources. Yeah, good to know.
It was. I liked it.
The internet's a jungle. My son's mother asked me the other day about, she began to be suspicious, like maybe her phone was activating. Like she said, it kept like the green light was flashing at one point. And she started asking me about, is it possible that your phone is sending, like your phone has, we know, a microphone and a camera on it. Is it possible that someone might be listening into your conversations? And I said, yeah, it is possible. That's a little scary. No one wants to think that way, but your phone is a computer, and you never know what it's doing. It's like I described it to her. It's like you have an office, but you can't go inside.
Yeah.
You can use it, and you can talk to the people that are in there. You can tell them you want them to do things for you, and they'll do the things you want them to do for you. But at the end of the day, you can't go in there. You can't look for yourself. You say, I'd like a cup of coffee. Someone comes outside and hands you a cup of coffee. And you say to them, well, what kind of coffee maker do we have? Did you shut off the coffee maker? They go, yes, we did. For yourself that it's off? No, you can't. So, and I don't want to make anyone paranoid, but sometimes it's smart to be paranoid. So I assume that all my conversations are being listened to. And Darren knows this because he and I have done this a little bit sometimes. I will literally say, if there are any agents or enforcers listening to what I am saying right now, number one, you do not have my permission to eavesdrop on my phone calls or listen to what I am saying. So you are listening without my permission. Okay. Number two, if you are men of God and you know that what you are doing is wrong, reprehensible, you serve the devil, and you know this. And number three, come back to the light. You can always come back to the light. Stop serving the devil anytime you choose. Tell that son of a bitch to pound sand, okay?
That's right.
And join us. Come back to the light. Okay.
8 freaking minutes.
You will be welcome. Yep. Words have power, folks.
Yes, sir, they sure do. They certainly do. Well, Dana, bing, 1 hour, 43 seconds, and counting. Do any of you guys have any questions for us tonight? Barlow, we got your Barkley, we got you put into be in touch with us, Maine Matters at Proton Mail. Let's get that set up. Classic, when are you coming on and going to get yourself your show back? You know, I've got, did you ever even hear the song I did for Classic? Dana, did you ever hear it? I bet you probably didn't, did you? Classic was right there. Classic was right there on the verge, and then she had, you know, it wasn't right for her to come on right at that point in time with her case and everything. You know, that happens, you know. She was advised not to, while everything was going on with her case, to get involved. So,
yep.
You know,
don't talk about stuff. That's always what they tell you. Don't talk about it. Don't say anything. Yep, get that all the time.
Yeah, that's. But that's mostly for their own damn doings, not yours, you know. Let's see if I have one on here for her.
All right, I got to look up Matthew 5:16 here.
This is her tune right here. I'll just play it while you're looking that up. Classic, this was your tune.
I thought I heard you calling. Lord, I answered with an open heart.
Are you going to read Matthew 5:16?
Yeah, as soon as I get it up on the screen.
All right.
She walked in with a Bible and a hopeful spirit.
Nice. All right, folks, here it is, Matthew 5:16. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. There you go.
Amen to that. Amen to all of you.
I might add, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Amen. That's that. This is Maine Mattress. Have a good night, everybody.
Truth is heard. Hey, case workers turning, judges playing God, parents fighting just to get their children back. They say best interest, but the funding says otherwise. Hearts get shattered while the paperwork multiplies. I saw the fear in little eyes, so I promised safety, but it was just another ride. I prayed for justice, prayed for light to shine. God said, daughter, now it's speaking time. No more silence, no more pretty lies. The system's failing under gospel skies. This is a license to parent, a paper crown on a broken throne. heard you calling. Now I know exactly why. License to pay.